If you live in East Africa, you've felt the hit every time your cooking gas cylinder runs empty. Over the last decade, LPG transformed from an urban luxury into a daily essential for millions of households. But whenever global energy markets flinch, prices at your local depot spike instantly. Why? Because for over 20 years, Kenya's cooking gas import market didn't function like a free market. Instead, it was shaped by a massive bottleneck, a virtual import duopoly, where two private facilities handled virtually all gas entering the country. In fact, in late 2025 alone, one single private terminal handled nearly 90% of all recorded LPG imports into Kenya. One entry point, one primary gatekeeper, until now. Inside the Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone in Mombasa, a $124 million or 16 billion Kenyan shilling mega facility is completing its final safety testing under government supervision. Owned by Tanzanian billionaire Rostam Aziz and his company, Taifa Gas, this facility is East Africa's largest LPG storage terminal. And it's not just an engineering feat. It is a direct challenge to Kenya's market concentration, a project built to introduce new competition, ease supply bottlenecks, and shift the region's energy balance. This is the story of the $124 million gas terminal that could break Kenya's import bottleneck. To understand why this facility matters so much, you have to look at how cooking gas physically enters the country. Unlike petrol or diesel, which flow through state-owned pipelines and common user berths managed by the government, Kenya's LPG import infrastructure was historically built and owned almost entirely by private players. For years, that market was led by African Gas and Oil Company Limited, or AGOL, majority owned by Mombasa businessman Mohammed Jaffer. Alongside a second player, Lake Gas, these two facilities maintained a firm grip on the physical pipeline into Kenya. Think of it like a toll bridge. If an independent fuel marketer wants to import bulk cooking gas on international ships, they can't just dock at any pier. They have to pay the private terminal owner to offload, pressurize, and store the gas. When one facility controls the vast majority of offloading capacity, three major problems occur. Number one, high throughput tariffs. Wholesalers pay premium fees just to move gas off the ship. Number two, costly delays. Smaller feeder ships often wait offshore for days, accumulating thousands of dollars in delay penalties, known in the industry as demurrage, costs that get added directly to your retail cylinder. And number three, inflexible wholesale pricing. Without real competition at the import level, wholesale prices stay high even when global gas prices drop. Now, to understand why a $124 million bet makes sense right now, you have to look at what's happening inside East African kitchens. For decades, charcoal and firewood were the dominant cooking fuels. But rapid urbanization, strict government enforcement against illegal logging, and aggressive clean cooking public health campaigns have triggered a massive transition. In recent years, Kenya's household LPG consumption skyrocketed, growing by nearly 15% year-on-year in recent quarters alone. More families want clean gas than ever before. But expanding consumer demand into a market with bottlenecked import infrastructure creates a squeeze. High prices, frequent localized stockouts, and extreme price sensitivity every time the local currency fluctuates against the US dollar. The market didn't just need more gas, it needed a completely new logistics channel. Enter Rostam Aziz. As one of East Africa's most prominent industrial leaders, his company, Taifa Group, built a vast gas distribution network across Tanzania and Zanzibar. For years, Taifa Gas supplied parts of Kenya by trucking cylinders overland across border points like Namanga. But overland trucking is slow, expensive, and limited in volume. To capture the broader regional market, Aziz needed a deep water footprint directly inside Kenya's main maritime gateway, Mombasa. In 2023, Taifa Gas secured 30 acres inside the Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone, just 4 kilometers from the port of Mombasa. The strategy was straightforward: build massive storage, secure direct marine access, and compete directly on volume. Look at the scale of what they constructed: 12 spherical storage vessels, specialized high-pressure tanks built specifically for bulk, LPG, 30,000 metric tons initial capacity. To put that into perspective, Kenya's total installed storage across the entire nation before this was roughly 44,000 tons. This single plant increases national storage capacity by over 60% overnight. 45,000 tons, Phase 2. Expansion, engineered to scale up as regional demand grows. Direct deepwater access. Allowing very large gas carriers, or VLGCs, the largest gas transport supertankers in the world, to dock and unload directly. Why do big ships matter? Because importing gas on a 30,000-ton supertanker dramatically lowers the freight cost per ton compared to using smaller 5,000-ton feeder vessels. If you can handle the supertankers, you win the cost battle. Unsurprisingly, building a $124 million project aimed at shaking up an established market met immediate friction. Shortly after breaking ground, the project was tied up in legal challenges in Kenya's Environment and Land Court, where petitions questioned its environmental impact assessment licenses and safety clearances. For months, progress was slowed by injunctions and regulatory disputes. The turning point came when the High Court cleared the petitions, ruling that Taifa Gas had complied with all statutory safeguards under EPRA and NEMA. With legal roadblocks cleared, construction accelerated into its final and most critical phase: mandatory hydrostatic testing. Hydrostatic testing involves filling these massive pressure vessels with water at pressures far exceeding normal limits to guarantee structural integrity before gas is ever introduced. With inspectors from EPRA and the Kenya Bureau of Standards supervising on-site, the terminal reached its final steps toward full operational launch. So, what actually changes when the valves open at Dongo Kundu? First, wholesale competition. Adding a third major import terminal with deep water access creates direct competition for offloading and storage. To retain market share, incumbent terminal operators will face pressure to lower their throughput charges. Now, a quick reality check. Lower wholesale handling costs do not automatically mean your local 13-kilogram cylinder drops in price overnight. Retail cooking gas prices are still tied to global Saudi CP benchmark prices, local VAT taxes, and foreign exchange rates. But by eliminating high offloading tariffs and demurrage penalties, the baseline cost to bring gas into the country drops significantly. Second, supply security. Small storage capacity leaves markets vulnerable. A 30,000-ton national buffer creates a cushion against shipping delays in the Red Sea or Indian Ocean, helping prevent sudden localized shortages and panic pricing. Third, cross-border integration. This facility links directly with Taifa Gas's existing import hubs in Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar, creating a 3-port distribution network along the East African coast. Instead of importing smaller loads piecemeal, Mombasa becomes a primary logistics engine, supplying gas to Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan, turning regional trade integration into concrete, physical infrastructure. The Taifa Gas Terminal is more than just a set of steel tanks. It is the flagship anchor tenant of Kenya's Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone, a multi-billion shilling development designed to transform the coast into a regional industrial hub. For years, structural bottlenecks kept entry barriers high in critical energy sectors. But as East Africa's economies expand, the sheer demand for clean, accessible energy is creating opportunities that static market structures can no longer contain. A $124 million investment, 12 megatanks, 30,000 tons of initial storage, and a market about to be opened to real competition. When you refill your gas cylinder in the coming months, Remember the infrastructure shift taking place on the shores of Mombasa, because the way East Africa powers its kitchens is evolving fast. What do you think? Will new competition successfully force wholesale gas prices down across East Africa? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into trade, infrastructure, and energy across the continent. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next breakdown. Check out this coverage on the Taifa Gas LPG storage facility nearing completion for visual references of the site and project scope.